Welcome to the Camy Kennedy Show, bringing you weekly mindset breakthroughs in health, wealth, and love. My name is Camy Kennedy, and I'm an intuitive life coach working with high achievers and perfectionists to embrace more self-love while redefining success and fulfillment. I have had the joy of being featured on several media platforms, and I love delivering high-value content. I combine spiritual practices, mindset strategies, energy work, neuroscience, psychology, and quantum physics to support your alignment with your powerful potential. Here, you change your mindset and you change your life. Today, I'm going to be talking about what you believe. So as you're hopping on here, you can put in the comments, how's it going? Where you're from? Hey, Lisa, good morning. And potentially any areas that you're struggling in currently with taking action, or any areas that you'd like to get better results in. I like to talk about the areas of health, wealth, and love, because as a former health and wellness coach for 10 years, I worked a lot with women on body image, on confidence, on not being on a diet, and just learning to live a healthy lifestyle. But what's so interesting is when you start to improve your health and you start to take those mindset strategies over into other areas of your life, you end up really achieving a lot. And then on the flip side, I've also worked with successful people in their business who are not looking at their health. So I say, okay, what are you doing successfully in business or in finances that is serving you that you can take over into another area of your life? And then ultimately, it all comes back to love, relationships, loving yourself, your relationship with yourself, and also spirituality, which I am very big on spiritual practices, energetic practices to tie everything together. So this morning, what I'm going to do is go over a strategy, a technique. There's a way that I do it that I think is very useful to help map out what's going on in your brain. So I want you to first grab a hold of the idea that whatever our circumstances currently are, we are going to create a story around that circumstance, right? So our circumstance is we are currently overweight, and the story that we create about that, or the thought or the belief system that we create about that, maybe I am just a fat slob and I can't control myself around food, and therefore I'm just going to eat more donuts, right? So the circumstance, we then have a thought or a feeling or a belief around it that's then going to create a feeling. And that feeling in this scenario would be shameful, feeling out of control around food, feeling like empty inside and just disappointed, so we continue to eat. That tracks right into the action. And the action is I'm just going to sit here and eat food because I feel bad. And the result or the outcome of that is I stay at my consistent same weight, 50 pounds overweight, or whatever the number is, right? So what I'm going to teach you today is how to backtrack to actually find out what your belief is. Because this can be true in health, this can be true in finances or business, or taking the next step that you know you must take in your business, or it could be in relationship. And it could be in other areas of your life wheel as well, other areas of life, but I'm going to focus in on a few of these examples today. So going back to the fitness one, the health one, a lot of times people will say, I'm just not motivated, or I just can't seem to stay on a diet, or whatever it is, or I just keep drinking too much wine or eating too many snacks late at night. So that's the action, right? That you're taking is I'm eating too many snacks, I'm drinking too much at night, or whatever it is. I'm not working out. And then we go back to what's the feeling associated with this? Well, I'm feeling unmotivated. I'm feeling not energetic. I'm feeling disappointed in myself. Okay. So by feeling disappointed in myself, it basically perpetuates this cycle of I feel negative, then I do negative things, and I go back to feeling negative, right? You just keep yourself in this perpetual loop. But going back to the belief is going to help you change the feeling, which is going to help you change the action and the result. So, what I'd like you to do if you're following along or watching the recording or even listening to this on the podcast, you grab a blank sheet of paper. In the center of that paper, you're going to draw a circle. And in the middle of that circle, just check in with how you're feeling now around this specific issue, whether it's health, wealth, love, relationships, finance, career, travel, whatever it is you want to focus on. Dig into how you feel about that area of your life. We're just going to stick on this health one right now. So in the very center, I feel disappointed. I feel unmotivated. I feel lazy. I feel sad or ashamed, embarrassed about my weight. You can put those all in the center. And then what we're going to do is called a mind map. And a mind map is so valuable because a lot of times we make lists or we try to do things in order. And there's definitely a value in having systems and structure in place like that. However, when we're just free flowing and we're really trying to access our subconscious mind, you want to set this up in a format that is all around, just like your mind is all around, right? So from this middle circle, you're going to draw a line out, and then you're just going to start putting all these thoughts around in a circle from that central line, almost like a wagon wheel spokes. So let's dig into this. When I'm feeling disappointed, what am I thinking? Well, I'm thinking I've been dieting for 30 years and it always seems like I'm overweight and nothing works. I am thinking, I get really strong on a diet in the first week and then I end up giving in to my cravings. I really feel like I don't want to give up wine. So therefore, there's a disconnect of, I like drinking my wine every night and I don't want to give it up. So therefore, if you don't want to give it up, it's never going to happen, right? And we're going to keep working through the whole way around this to see what result comes, right? Lisa says mind mapping rocks. Hey, Alyssa's on. Hey, if you guys are on, make sure you comment, please let me know because I can't see who is on in this new format on Facebook. So if you're here, say hello. So as we continue to work around this mind map, right, you continue to write things out. So then we determine what the result is. So I feel disappointed. I feel bad about myself. I feel shameful. And I start thinking that I can't control myself around food. I really like wine. I don't want to change my wine habits. And then the result is I continue to drink a lot of wine. I continue to stay at the same weight. And I continue to feel sad and depressed, right? So the next step is once you've identified, okay, what are the feelings? What are the thoughts? And I'm going to encourage you to stay with the thoughts a lot longer than I just did right now. Because what happens is our brain doesn't want to give us our thoughts, right? And that's because the ego self wants to protect us and keep us safe and keep us in a pattern and keep us in our comfort zone. So at first, this is why people need so much coaching with me that they'll come to me and be like, this is the result I want. And I understand that I have to do things differently to get there, but I don't even know how to get there, right? Because our mind is hiding it from us. So what I do when I work with people one-on-one and in a group coaching setting is I pull out the thoughts, right? I pull out the thoughts. So set a timer for 10 minutes and dig deep and keep journaling and keep writing out all the things that are coming up in your thoughts and then go deeper and then go deeper. Because if you're just using surface level thoughts, you're not going to be able to shift as much, right? What we resist persists, and if it's hidden from you, you won't be able to shift it. So this is why this first step of belief mapping is really important. So after we've gotten some thoughts down on paper, then we can start to look at those results. Then we could start to say, well, what result do I want? Okay, well, my current result is I continue to stay the same weight, continue to be disappointed. My result I'd like to be is I'd like to weigh X amount, or ideally I'd like to feel confident in my body. I'd like to feel good because a lot of times we put a lot of weight on our weight, and we act like once we achieve that goal weight, we're going to be happy. But that's not true if we're not seeking the emotion that's tied to the result. So I want to feel happy, confident, motivated, fit, energetic. I'm feeling like I'm choosing healthy foods. I'm doing movement that feels good to me, right? So those are the results. And a side effect of those things is I'm at my ideal weight. I feel healthy. I feel great, right? So what needs to shift in this mind mapping, belief mapping process? The belief is what needs to shift. Because if we believe that we're just stuck at this weight, if we believe that every diet we try fails, if we believe there's not a solution out there for us, then we will get exactly what we believe. What happens is the mind will look for evidence of whatever its thought is, whatever its belief is. And that is going to solidify and make that belief even more true, right? And it's going to be ingrained even more. And if you've been thinking this thought or you've been taught this thought, maybe through your parents or an adult in your childhood, you've probably been looking for evidence of this thought for a long, long time. So it feels very, very true to you, right? So the reason that I like to talk about the result that you want is because when something's very familiar, I used this example in my coaching call yesterday. Something's very familiar. If you've had this old teddy bear for quite some time, if you've had it since you were a baby, if you've been holding on to it and it's like ratty and tattered and it's got mold on it and it's falling apart and it stinks, that's like our thoughts, right? That's like the thoughts that are no longer serving us. But our ego acts like the bratty little child, like, no, this is my teddy bear. I want it. I want it. It stinks. I don't care. Meanwhile, God, the universe, source, the self within us is saying, there is a better thought for you that's going to get a better result. There is a better teddy bear. I'm going to give you a new, clean, shiny one. It's bigger, it's fluffier. But we have the tendency to hold on to these old beliefs because it feels comfortable and we don't want to step into the unknown. Even though the unknown has what we say we want, it's more comfortable to stay in the old belief than it is to try on a new belief or to release that old teddy bear and hold the new soft and cuddly teddy bear, right? Because think of it anyway, if you've been holding that same teddy bear, it fits in your arms, you've worn it in, it kind of you snuggle up to it even though it stinks, you're used to the stink, right? This new teddy bear, you might need to hold it differently. It might be bigger, so you have to put your arms out wider. It might be a different color, so that's shocking to you. You've been used to this brown ratty teddy bear. You get a new white one, it might be shocking to the eyes, right? So knowing what's going on in your brain is going to help you make better shifts as you progress towards taking the actions that you want for your goals, right? But everybody wants to take the actions first, but they're not looking at the belief. There's a reason why every diet didn't work, and it's because the belief was the same. The belief was never shifted, right? So in this scenario, let's just look at drinking wine for an example. I've worked with a client in the past who this had a similar situation where she just kept kind of having 2 or 3 glasses every night, realizing it wasn't really great, and then just realizing it didn't make her feel good, and using it to fill a need of love and connection, which that's a whole nother topic. But going to this belief on wine, maybe what we're thinking about wine is it makes me feel good. I like to wind down with it. You know, I deserve it. That's my reward for a long day, or that's what I like to do with my friends as I connect. And all of these things may be true, right? But are you aware that multiple things can be true from a different perspective? Are you aware that maybe the friends that you're hanging out with that are continuing, we're all continuing to do the same thing, to think the same thoughts, to do the same actions and get the same results? If you're looking at that group, you're the sum of those 5 people. So do they have the life that you want? If the answer is yes, continue on their path, continue on that course. If not, and you're looking to shift your result, then it's time to borrow a new belief. So, about drinking wine. And I'm borrowing this story from life coach Brooke Castillo. She had a podcast on this, and how she shifted her belief. This was really, really huge for me. Was, you know, I've had wine every night for the past, let's just say 5 years. I've had wine every night for the past 5 years. And I don't feel good. Okay. And I'm not at my ideal weight, and I wake up feeling groggy, and then I don't do my workouts, and I just don't feel great. Okay. Where she started to shift was, actually, I think I've had enough wine for an entire lifetime. I've had it this night, I've had it this night, I've had it. I mean, you can quantify how much you've had and then just say, I'm actually good. I'm full. I've had my fill of wine. I feel satisfied. And I'm open to going, thank you for that experience. There were some great experiences that I had. There were maybe some not so great ones, but I'm open to the belief that I've had plenty of wine and that on the other side of having all this wine is exactly what I want, which is energy, which is feeling good, which is I can still socialize, but I'm not going to get tipsy. I'm not going to make a fool of myself. If that's the case, I'm not going to wake up groggy. And that feels really good to me. So, starting to experiment with a better feeling thought just by 1%. And that thought may take you a while to get to, right? If you're struggling with something that feels like it's addictive, you want to do it, maybe it is. I'm open to the thought that something like juice or a juice cleanse or a protein shake or something, let's not even be specific, let's go super vague. I'm open to the thought there's something that will nourish my body and make me feel good that I can replace my wine habit with. And then you can start exploring that and it can start to be fun because it's no longer I'm cutting this out and this is going to feel horrible. It is now I'm excited. I'm on this search. I'm on this quest to find what feels really good. Maybe it's wheatgrass. Maybe it's green juices. Maybe it's ginger, right? So you start to find all these drinks and you're like, wow, this feels really good. And I can still wind down at night with this routine, but it's going to be herbal tea. And it just, the way it makes my body feel is great. So do you see how we're doing a 1% shift, which then you take a different action and then you start to work towards that result and that outcome? I hope this has been useful for you. I want to invite you, if you're still stuck on the belief part, because a lot of the clients that work with me one-on-one or work with me in a group setting, they tend to need coaching around the belief on how we can go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And once they identify the belief, it's like, okay, well, now what do I do with it? Then we got to just shift it by 1%. And that takes practice, right? It just takes practice to start choosing a better feeling thought. And when we're doing that, we're not choosing the opposite thought because that's a big jump, right? To go from thinking something like wine is everything, I love it, to I don't need wine anymore. That's a big jump. So we want to work by 1% increments to start believing something that feels more true, believing something that feels more true, right? Of, you know what, wine makes me feel not good. So I'm going to have one glass of wine and one glass of water, or I'm going to switch from white to red or red to white or whatever feels right for you. So I invite you, if you want to do some more work around belief mapping and actually have a full session together, hop on a breakthrough call with me. We can work through some limiting beliefs that you currently have. We can talk about your goal and vision and dream for the future. And then at the end of the call, we could find out if it is a good fit for us to begin working together. That's my favorite part, is starting to see, kind of dig into your brain, start to give you some understanding of how the brain works, and start to give you some tools to help work through the thought processes, the beliefs, the patterns that are going to get you the results that you want, right? Because people take on a coach to get different results, right? I like to tell people, it's funny, this has happened to me several times when somebody will say to me like, oh yeah, she totally needs a life coach, right? Like like just kind of like making a judgment about someone or saying it in passing, like she needs help. But the way I see coaching is, and specifically for me, I coach high achievers and perfectionists. You're already doing well in a lot of areas in life, right? You're already achieving a lot. You've already made progress. I work with a lot of people who have PhDs, they're doctors, they're in grad school, they're students, they were athletes, they're high achievers, right? So you've achieved some things. But what I teach you by working together is the thought processes behind what's motivating you, right? What's inspiring you. And we really dig into the weeds of the thoughts of why is this pattern continuing? And if you want a different result, you're going to have to take different actions, but it's not just as simple as just waking up and being like, oh, I'm going to do this differently today, right? It's defining your vision, your values, your identity. It's digging into the way that your brain works. And the reason I say this woman who said, oh, that girl needs a life coach, or she, oh, yeah, my daughter does, or so and so does, is I work with people who are already high functioning. They're doing well, right? They're doing well in a lot of areas of life. They've achieved a lot of things, but they're looking to up level. They're looking to take the next step. They're looking to grow their business, start their business. They're looking to really finally achieve that health goal to feel really great in their body. They're looking to dive into a new relationship or to revive their old relationship. And the reason I say this is because by working with me, what that does for us together is you get to borrow my belief. Whoever I work with, I believe that they can succeed. And a lot of times I believe it before you believe it. So by working with me in that coaching relationship, I'll hold you to a standard. And what's so interesting, because I work with so many perfectionists, I sometimes lower your standard. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but as a recovering perfectionist myself, we tend to hold ourselves to this ridiculous standard. I'm going to get these 300 things done today. And then if I don't, I either overwork myself and then I'm burnt out and then I have to rest for 3 weeks. I'm all or nothing. Or I get really disappointed and every day I feel like I didn't do anything. I didn't do enough. I never do enough. I'm never enough. So it's working into that self-love. It's working into identifying who you are at a core level, identifying what's important in terms of your values, and then starting to live within those values, rock solid. These are my values. This is how I show up in my values. And then this is what progresses me towards my vision, my dream, my goal for my life. So I invite you to reach out to me directly. You can send me an email at Camy@CamyKennedy.com, or you can just go directly to my website and book a breakthrough call with me. It's CamyKennedy.com/call. I'm really excited to connect with you, break through some of these beliefs. And if you end up doing this mapping process, I'd also invite you to come into the Powerful Potential Facebook group and share within there. Share what your beliefs are, how you're shifting those. I created that group as a safe container for perfectionists and high achievers to start practicing their potential. What does that mean? That means saying, I'm not perfect. That means saying, I have thoughts and beliefs that are not serving me. And that's okay. That's okay. We don't need to pretend like we have it all together. When we can start to reveal and become aware of what is holding us back, that's when we can start practicing our potential. That's when we can start moving forward into the person that we were meant to be. I'm going to check a few of these comments right now. Lisa says, group coaching one-on-one with Camy and these live, continual full clarification, progress, my coach. I love it. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa says, yes, protein shakes. I agree. I love protein shakes. And Lisa says, can still put in a pretty little wine glass. Yes, I did that yesterday with some green juice. All right, everyone, have a beautiful Saturday, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye.